It is the next day. We are back again. It's about 20 past 6. In this one today, hopefully gonna drill these 2 holes out to 50mm, and then cut all these spot welds and separate these 4 pieces. And then after that, might look at sort of somewhat getting this set up and then maybe just tack it together for now. Hopefully, depending on how these holes go. Should be right, hopefully. But yeah. So I'll probably do one in like a time lapse, then I'll probably do the other one real time, just so I'm not doing too many time lapses and you can see some real time footage of it. Yeah, I'll get these plates out the way, set the toolbox up here again, and then set up the time lapse for the first one, and then I'll see you after that. Alright, so I finished drilling that first hole, and boy was that rough. Yeah. As you might have seen in the time lapse, the belt kept slipping. You can see all this like dust and shit down in here. It's belt. But yeah, the belt kept slipping. So then you would have seen I got this big pry bar and leaving it in here to get it even tighter. But now like that is quite hard to turn compared to what it used to be. See, I'll loosen these. I don't really know if you saw that. That motor is, I can't touch that. That is so hot. But yeah, these belts feel a bit warm as well, so just take all the pressure off them so they're not hot and getting super stretched. But yeah, this motor down like here, that's too hot to touch. But we got the hole drilled eventually. I think that probably took almost an hour, I reckon. And then I'm not too sure but I think I might have been actually hitting the depth stop. Like, I don't think the drill would go down any further than that, because if I can show it sort of right there, there's still sort of like a bit of a lip. I don't know, could just because the piece is still up in there, which I'm gonna have to try and get out somehow. But you can see over in, where's my finger? This corner here, there's no sort of lip, but you can see it sort of start just here. And in the time lapse you might have seen, like, I had to really put some pressure on this. I was like weighing on this with all my weight, and you could see like the clamps and all this like sort of slowly wobble. But yeah, and that's the bit from the first layer. Yeah, I think I'll probably call that a night here, I reckon. I don't really feel like sitting through all that, and I don't think the drill press wants to either. So yeah, that'll be it for tonight. I'll just let the drill press cool down and have a bit of a rest, clean up some of this mess, and I'll show you the hole once I've got it unclamped. And yeah, I'll be back once I got this all cleaned up. Alright, so I've tidied up and packed up and gotten everything put away. This plate here, got all the mess tidied up and the welder back in its spot. So this is the hole here. It still looks like a fairly decent hole. It doesn't look too bad for how hard it was. It still looks pretty good. Like I said, there's that bit of a burr on that side. Just clean that up with a file. Yeah, so that's one done. I'll get my, curious to see if it's still a 50mm hole or if it's slightly bigger. Focus. Almost 51. That's not too bad, considering how much it was sort of wobbling and stuff. Yeah, pretty much 51. But anyway, gonna call that a night there. The drill bit still looks like it's in pretty good shape, I'd say. That other bit fell out pretty easily. Oops. Just drop it. That's the second layer, I guess you could say. Little plug. And that's the plug from the first layer. But yeah, give the drill press a rest for tonight, let it cool down, and then tomorrow try this other hole, get that one done, and then that'll probably be all I feel like doing tomorrow. So I'll probably try to do that hole tomorrow, and then the day after I'll cut all the spot welds and then sort of tack this up together in the box. But yeah, that'll be it for tonight. See you in the next one. It's the next afternoon. We're back at it again. Gonna try and get this other hole drilled. This one here. I know what we're in for today, so hopefully get this hole drilled, and then, like I was planning to do yesterday, cut all these tack welds and then get it all tacked together in the box hopefully. Yeah, I know how long this is going to take, so I'm expecting that to be a pain again. Something else I'm going to try, instead of sitting it on that bit of wood, because even that was quite a thick bit of wood, wood's pretty soft and squishy compared to steel, so I'm hoping that should be enough, just so I don't start drilling into that, but I have those sitting there to space it up a bit, hopefully make it a bit more solid. Probably might not have the belt as tight, but still get something in here and lever it to get it a bit tighter than just pushing on this. Another thing is, might have seen it in the time lapse when I was levering on that to get it tight with the big pry bar. Actually sort of twisted this whole head of the drill press, like where it mounts there, so I'll probably, is there only one? That was that. Yeah, there's only that one, so I'll probably just, oh, that might be one up there as well. But yeah, I'll just double check those, make sure those are up nice and tight, and then I'll tighten the belt. I looked up online as well, trying to just find out what speed is recommended for this. I found some website that had like a PDF with a big list of like drill bit sizes and recommended speeds for different materials, and I'll try to put a picture of that up just here now. But on that, I think it said for a 50mm tungsten carbide tipped drill, they had a whole different heap of, I can't remember what it was now, kind of like densities, I think, tensile strength densities for like different types of steel. When I put that picture up, I'll try and like circle it. Yeah, I think this is just pretty plain basic mild steel, so I think it's like pretty soft. I think it was like 500 or something, just from what I could find out while googling. On that PDF file, it said for a 50mm drill bit in 500, I think it was n/millimeters squared, something or other. I think it was like 380 RPM, and I always thought like the bigger the drill bit, the slower it goes. So I had it set on A4 last time, which is 280, which is pretty close to what they recommended. That 450, might try that, but when I googled it on Google, like that AI thing that comes up now, that said for a 50mm, I'm pretty sure it specified the like tungsten carbide tipped 50mm drill bit in mild steel. It recommended like, I think it was like 500 or 800 to 1000 RPM, but to me that just seems way too fast. So I'll probably just leave it on A4 for now, and then if I'm having as much trouble as I was with this one, I might try just mess with it, see if I can get it any better. Try the B4 slightly faster, and then if that's not any better, I might, it seems way too fast to me, but I might try like a, I don't know, A2 or B3. I'll try and put in a screenshot of that AI thing that Google said as well. But yeah, so I'll probably time-lapse this all again, but depending on how it goes I might not include it, just because I think last time it was like 3 or so minutes. It's probably not very fun to watch, like 3 minutes of just straight drilling. So time-lapse it just in case, but if it goes pretty much the same as last time I might just not include it. So yeah, I'll get this plate all clamped up on here with these little spacers, and then I'll either see you in the time lapse drilling the hole, or I'll see you once I come back after I've drilled the hole if I decide not to include it. Alright, so that nightmare is over. Got the two holes drilled. I wouldn't say that it went great, but it probably went slightly better than this one. As you would have seen in the time lapse, I probably will include it. Got the air compressor just so I could really sort of clear out all the chips that were down in here. I think that made it a lot easier. I was always filling these little gaps up with chips and blowing those out, making sure those were nice and clear. So it went, I think it took just as long, but it probably went a little bit smoother, I reckon. But yeah, now that those are drilled, I'll probably put them in the vise and just get a file to clean up some of these burrs at the bottom there. And then once that's done, I'll cut these tack welds and separate these 4 pieces. I'll probably set you up on another time lapse again while I do all that, and then I'll see you again once I've cleaned up these holes a bit and split all these pieces up. Alright, so my phone went flat during that time lapse, I think, so I'm not sure how much of it I actually got, but I got all the burrs and the holes cleaned up and all those pieces split. And then I currently just sort of have it mocked up of how it's eventually going to be, sitting inside this bit for the press. So yeah, that's, I reckon I can try. heavy. There we go. So obviously these bits will be cut a lot shorter, probably just to the width of this here, but that's kind of the plan I'm going for. And then the bit of 24mm sort of laying across here in the middle. Not sure exactly what to do, because I'll want to sort of hold that 24mm sort of right in the middle here, and I don't want it to be able to move side to side. I was originally going to get some like collars, 50mm shaft collars, and have like one here and then one here, one here and one here. I went to the best place I thought of to get them from, one lunch break last week at work, and they didn't have any. They said they'd have to order them in, but I was hoping to get this done last weekend, but that was obviously not going to happen. But yeah, I thought I'd get it done, so I didn't order them because I wanted to get it done, and I thought I'd just think of something else. And what I did think of was some of this plate. If I had any scraps left over, I would cut out a section, say like 70mm wide, and then in this I'd drill a 50mm hole and 50mm hole, and then I'd have sort of like it would be square, but I'd make the outside round, and then I'd have a 50mm hole with like a 70mm total diameter kind of thing. And then I thought I'd sort of cut that into a C, kind of like that, and in this gap here I'd weld one of these nuts and then use a bolt like that. So then I'd have the C, and I'd have to slide it on as I'm putting the bar through, but I'd slide the C on. It's a bit hard to show you, but imagine it was like that, and then have the nut in the gap there and the bolt, and I'd use that to hold it in place. Just something like that, just to somewhat hold the bar here in the middle. But obviously that was pretty difficult to drill a 50mm hole in this plate with that little drill press, so I think I might have to go back and get them to order in some 50mm shaft collars. Yeah, so I'll probably do that. That'll probably be my plan, to hold that in the center now that I've found out how difficult this was to drill. But other than that, looks pretty good. The next thing to do from now is, I'm not sure whether to weld on the outside here or on the inside or both. I'll probably eventually do both, I reckon, but for starters, just to get it tacked up, probably just do on the outside. So the next bit I'm going to do is I'll disassemble this little mock-up, and then on all these plates, like on this edge of the long plate, this corner, you can say, of the long plate, and then this corner of the short plate, put a nice little chamfer on those edges, probably just with the flat wheel, just so I got a nice little spot for my weld to go. Yeah, I can imagine like a V that way, and then a V out there, in there. And then for now I'll probably just put like maybe 3 spot welds on it for now, just to hold it together. And once it's all tacked together and I'm happy with it, I'll probably doesn't really need to be completely welded. I'll probably just do like a short section up the top and then a short section down the bottom. But yeah, very happy with how it's coming out so far. Probably gonna go sort out some dinner now, but potentially, depending on how long that takes, I'll be back and I'll grind all these little chamfers in all these corners, and then I'll got me little magnets to hold it all together and squarish, and then I'll start tacking it together. So I'll either see you again later tonight when I start doing that, or probably tomorrow afternoon. Alright, so I'm back in the garage. It's pretty late, so I've closed the door. It's 9:45. Just wanted to come back in here and try quickly grind those little chamfers and then get it tacked together, just so I can have it sitting out of this just on the bench and all stay together. Yeah, I'll set you up for a time lapse and I'll take the grinder of these and then I'll come back. Yeah, I'll grind these and then I'll come back and I might do some welding, but I might just do the tacks in like a real-time video, not a time lapse. But I'll start the time lapse and get all these ground down. Alright, so we've got all these chamfers ground in, pretty happy with them. Looking pretty good. As you can see on this one, I accidentally did it on the wrong side, but that's right. But yeah, got these all done now. Not sure the best way to do it. I'll probably do like this corner here and then this corner here, and then because if that was, I can pull one of these magnets off without it falling. Nope. But don't need those up to show, but it's too wide to fit. Don't know how. Lovely camera work, but it's just too wide once once these are in here to get like the other side in. So I'll probably do like this corner here and then this corner here, and then sort of set the two L sort of shaped bits together. And then I'll tack it in this corner and then this corner up here. I think that'll probably be the best way to do it. So I shall set you. Where's going to be a good spot to do this from? I'll work out where I'm going to set the camera up and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've got the camera set up, got it set up a bit closer, have to give a bit better of a view. Got these two pieces lined up pretty much where I want them. Looking pretty good. So I'll leave the settings on what they were for when I did those other couple tacks. And that's not blocking up too much, that should be good. Right, I'll flip this lens down and then I'll tack it up. Do a third one in the middle for good measure. We'll flip up your little lens, and that's how they're looking there. They look pretty good. Set you back down here. So we can do those. They look pretty good. We'll see. Still not perfect, but close enough, I reckon. Alright, so we got that piece done. Just over here for now. You know, I have to remember it's going to be the opposite to that one. So it needs to be. No, the same. Never mind me. It's the same. We shall set this up. That's pretty good. That's good. And the gut looks pretty even. Still looks good. Yep. Still looks good. Yep. Yep. And that's good. Right. Outside, outside. Yep. Let's tack it in place. Oh, flip. Alright, got those all tacked up. Let's see how square it is. It's a little bit off. That looks good. Now the moment of truth. That one go like that. And this one go like this. And how do they line up? They line up pretty good. Okay, yeah. Show this way down. Okay, so there is a little gap. One of these corners. It should be right. I think that's just because all these sides weren't perfectly square and straight. But I think these faces line up pretty well. It's just a little bit of rocking, but so get halfway. Yeah, I reckon that'll be good there. Alright, I'll do hopefully I'll be able to get in under there. I should have put that at the top. I'll get you covered up. And we'll give this a tack. You won't see this one, but I'm just going to do this other side. Now that I've got those, hopefully we can, can't see it, but I'm just taking those magnets off. she uncovered. Just going to use a tape measure. That's like 99 at the top. And down the bottom there, looking at about 100. Yeah, maybe even 98 at the top. I don't think because there is a little bit of a gap down here at the bottom, so I'll just use this clamp, try and close that up a bit more, make it a little bit more even. I'll give this one a tack down here now. Clamp off. Take that off here. Let's see what we have now. So we've got like 98.5 at the top. Just do my way a little. Got about 99.5 at the bottom, I reckon. And yeah, like I said, 98.5. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is a slight gap at the bottom here. So if I really wanted to, I could cut that, which I might do actually, just do it the best we can. So I'm just going to cut this spot weld and then use the clamp to close up that little gap. And that looks beautiful. So now I will just cover you up again. Then I'll redo that tack. Oops. Helps if you put the earth back on. See how this is now. It's not rocking anymore. Unless it might have just been sitting up on something before, or even sitting up on something now. That's like 98.5, I reckon. That's probably like 99. Yeah, like 98.5. That's probably 99. That'll do. So that's good now. I'll just put a tack in that middle there. Right, so this side's all done and good. Just on to this side now. Well, I've got the tiniest little bit of wobble, but who knows if this is even completely flat. Probably not. Okay. Now, will this side be the same as the other side? And will it be same top to bottom? Hopefully it'll be pretty close. So that there, I've got like 98.5 again, I reckon. And that's probably like 99.5. There's a little bit of a gap here, so I'll just crank this up and then put a little tack in this bottom corner. Accidentally stopped recording while I was putting the cover over the lens. We're just going to put a tack in this bottom corner. Let's see how close it is now. So we've got like 98.5 there, and then probably 99 I reckon there. There is, yeah, I'm gonna, just to be picky, there's a tiny little gap on this side here, so just gonna cut this spot weld again, clamp it, and then re-tack it. Let's put another tack weld down in this corner. Almost forgot this. Hopefully that's just sitting on something now. It's got quite a bit of Oh, no, it's sitting on something. Still a tiny little bit, but that's pretty good. Alright, we'll measure this now. It's got like 98.5. And we've got like just under 99. So that's as close as it's ever going to get. We'll just put another tack in the middle here, and then we'll be done. And I forgot to uncover you for that, so you didn't see anything, but I just measured it again, and it was as close as I'm ever going to get. So just going to put another tack in the middle. Here we are, all done. So that's got the tiniest little bit of a wobble, but it's pretty good. This width and this width, this width and this width, from what I can measure with my tape measure and my eyeballs, they're all within a mil of each other. It's a bit out of square, but no, that's right. That's probably just how come I had all the gaps. These edges aren't perfectly square and flat. This end down here, that looks this end is a little out of square all the way down. This end is pretty much mint at the top here. Something I just noticed. There is a bit of a gap there. Which is unfortunate, but this isn't precision. It's same length this way, and overall probably a little bit longer on this side because that's sticking out a bit. But we shall take that off, straighten this up, and that might be a bit close to really get a good view. So I'll move you up here. That looks pretty good. Just down a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, this thing, the main thing is that this fits over here. Oh. And let's it is a bit tight, unfortunately. I'm almost stuck. But as I said, this corner here of this side piece is sticking out a bit further than this. But hopefully it looks pretty good on the bottom. And then that's the way that it should everywhere. Oh, cool. So if it slows down that way, well, it's only really just that very tiny bit. Yeah, beautiful. I will. That's probably enough then. Pull this out. Put this back in. Back in the press. Although you couldn't see that. You have to trust me that I did. And sit that there. One thing I'm now remembering. What I said I probably would do is put these in here when I weld it, so that no, they're lined up. That still looks pretty good. And same with that one. They still both look mint. all in the press now. So that is going to be the setup. And obviously, as I've said before, some more of this big round bar mounted here, welded to a tube that'll slip over this with a nut and bolt to hold it in place. And then put the 24mm in here, press down with this, and hopefully you'll get a 180. Alright, going to call that a night there. Very pleased with how it's turned out. It's looking really good. But yeah, going to call it here. See you in the next one. Cheers.